While sharing the gospel, people would often try to outsmart us by asking very difficult questions, which they themselves know that the answer for that question is not possible to get. For instance, they would ask, if you claim that Jesus was born through a virgin, then prove us with by giving a medical evidence for that. Now, we all know that medical evidence for the virgin birth is not possible because it's an incident which took 2000 years back, right? Hello everyone, this is Michelle, and today's episode we are going to learn on how to handle such tricky questions while sharing the gospel. And the method which we are going to learn is not just going to be useful for this particular question, but for other similar questions also. It's going to be very useful while sharing the gospel. Let's take a look. Before we get started, I would like to make clear why the understanding or why the doctrine of a virgin birth is very important for us to defend. People usually target this virgin birth because if they try or if they ensure or if they convince us that this is wrong, then the entire gospel would go to a topple. Just like how the doctrine of crucifixion and doctrine of resurrection is important, the doctrine of virgin birth is equally important. Let me explain why. Number one, in Luke chapter 1, verse number 35, we can read as, and the angel answered and said to her, the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the highest will overshadow you. Therefore, also that Holy One who's to be born will be called the Son of God. So, here in this verse, it's clearly explained that virgin birth is occurring by the overshadowing of Holy Spirit on Mary. So Christ was born through a human at the same time by the power of the Holy Spirit. This explains that Christ was truly man and he was truly God at the same time. This does not decrease his divine nature and does not neglect that he was not a man also. He was both truly man and he was truly a God. Number two, Christ was not conceived in sin. In Psalms 51, verse number 5, we can read as, behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin my mother conceived me. So the virgin birth teaches that Christ was born sinless. He was not born out of the general human genealogy, but rather there was a divine intervention in it. So the sin of Adam and Eve, which has been passing on to generation and generation and generation, was not passed on to Christ. This proves that Christ was sinless, which is very important for us in doctrine. So this proves the sinless nature of Christ. Number three, fulfillment of prophecy. In Isaiah chapter 7, verse number 14, we can read as, therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. And this prophecy was fulfilled when Christ was born through a virgin. So, these are the three reasons theologically why it is very important. And so now we can understand why people usually try to target the claim of a virgin birth. So now we are going to look at a method how we are going to defend or how we are going to give an answer for such questions. First, let us understand a certain concept. People always try to ask evidence because they think that everything can be proved by science. This is actually a wrong claim because they think that whatever exists or whatever is seen has a scientific explanation attested to it. But that's actually wrong because there are certain things which exist outside science. Yeah, you heard me right. Now I'm going to give you 5 examples or 5 concepts which is existing outside science, which is not dependent on science itself. Let me name them for you: mathematics, ethics, logic, aesthetics, and supernatural events. First, let's look at mathematics. We usually confuse that maths is a part of science subject, but actually maths exists outside science. We use maths to derive a scientific explanation. By definition, the fundamental truth of mathematics are independent of any scientific experimentation. Whereas the definition of science is the systematic study of the natural world based on observation, experimentation, and evidence. Now, let me give an illustration for you to understand in a better way. For example, if a scientist is going to determine or going to find the boiling point of a water and he's going to present a theory on it, he would boil the water and then he would take note of what is happening at that time. Imagine if he's not going to use max there. It would just be descriptive and it cannot be precise. Max would require in scientific explanation and theory to make a descriptive observation to become precise. For example, if he's not going to use max, he can just say that after certain minutes or after certain time the water was boiling, but he cannot say at what temperature or how many minutes it took for him to boil. Those conclusions cannot be brought. But whereas while using max in it, he can exactly say that the water started to boil at 100 degrees Celsius. So that's how we use max to bring in scientific explanations. Number two, ethics. It is a study of what is right and wrong and how people ought to behave. Now think about this. How can someone scientifically prove what is right or wrong? For example, if I'm saying obey our parents is a moral law which is taught in the Bible, and if someone asks me to prove this scientifically, this does not make any sense, right? So ethics is something which exists outside science. And number three, we have logic. It is the study of correct reasoning on how to think clearly and draw valid conclusions. Now, logic is outside science because it is not discovered by scientific experiments. And in fact, logic comes before doing any scientific experiments. Now, let me give an example for you to understand it in a more clear way. Imagine a square circle. Now, that's a logical fallacy, right? Or imagine a stick which has only one end with it. Again, still, it is a logical fallacy, right? So, by in logic, square is something which has four corners to it, and at the same time, circle does not have any corners. So, trying to imagine a square which has no corners or a circle with four corners is not possible. So that's why we use logic before even we do any scientific experiments, and that's how logic exists outside science. And number four, we have aesthetics. It is a study of beauty, art, and what we find pleasing or meaningful. Now aesthetics is totally subjective. I might like a particular scenery, I might like a color, I might like a car, I might like a bike, or I might like a particular pattern of cloud or something like that. It is entirely subjective. Another person might have a different taste preference. All these are subjective, which varies from a person to person, which cannot be brought under the cloud that scientifically this person is liking this color because or any such category. So aesthetics is something which exists outside science. And number five, we have supernatural events. Have you heard about the word medical miracle? This is a word used by the doctors when they see miracles like spontaneous remissions, like disappearing of cancer cells, or people who are about to die miraculously get saved, and such more miracles which they cannot understand or explain it in medical terms. This they just conclude by saying as it is a medical miracle. I just read a report where it says that in 1 lakh cases of cancer patients, at least one patient would miraculously get healed. The cancer cells would just disappear overnight, and they do not have any proper scientific or medical understanding behind that, because according to the science or according to what they know, it is something which is impossible. So all such miraculous events or such things, miracles which is taking place even today, they just conclude saying that it is a medical miracle. Yeah, for example, when a person comes to Christ and when he prays, God does heal the unhealable diseases also. And when doctors see such cases that being healed without any medical treatment, they would just simply turn it as, yes, we do believe in medical miracles. All these things are supernatural events. By definition, supernatural refers to phenomena or entities that are beyond the laws of nature. So from this, we come to a conclusion that there are things that exist outside science also. And another thing very important which we need to know is that things that can be understood and explored by science is also not still discovered. Yeah, let me give an example. Have you heard about parthenogenesis? It is a type of reproduction where an organism develops from an unfertilized egg, that is, no male involved. How amazing is God's creation, right? I can give a few examples like the Komodo dragon, zebra shark, whiptail lizard, stick insects, marbled crayfish, and many more. And you know what? Science discovered this 200 years back. How many more things are there in this world which we have not discovered, but still it is possible to understand scientifically. For example, 71% of the earth is covered by ocean, and humans have explored only 5% in it. Then if we take a look at the universe, we have not even explored even 0.001% of the entire universe, and still it is a random number because the number would even go down because the universe is infinite and we do not know what the end is. So what we are concluding here is that science cannot prove everything, and at the same time everything which can be understood scientifically is also not yet discovered. So if people ask for a proof of virgin birth, they need to know that they cannot disprove it either. Christ was born through a virgin, and it is very clear in the scriptures. We can totally believe in it, and that's how we can defend this question. It is something impossible for us, for our human minds, to understand a supernatural event. Let me quote a verse for you. In Job 38, verse number 4, God says that, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding." What God explains here is that humans cannot comprehend the creation of God. Certain things are supernatural events that it is too hard and complicated for the human minds to comprehend it. That's what this text means. The virgin birth is a beautiful miracle and a supernatural event which we can 100% believe, but it is impossible for us to understand and comprehend and how exactly that might have happened. If with God's will, we'll meet you in another episode of this weekly Pearl program. God bless you.